We're like, what? I was like, yep. She's back to brown. Just, that's how it is. Hair is fun. Hello, Insky. Good to see you. How's it going? That's what hair is for. Just get a little, I was going to say hair up your, and you, I was like, I'm going to go back. Yeah, good. I'm glad. So it's only for me. It's like, I just do it whenever I feel like it. So, when you get a wild hair, ba-dum-bum, boom, there you go. All right, everybody. Well, it's great to have you here. We'll start our conversation. And remember, I'm just facilitating the conversation here. And so there will be times where I just shut up so that we can talk, right? So this is why we have an interaction here, okay? All right. So, okay. All right. So the title of our conversation today is, What If You Weren't You? And this is something that is a consideration that many of the separated selves never even consider. Never consider this idea of what if you weren't you? Or if you do, you might consider it for a second, right? Now, the reason that whatever. I thought that I would bring this up is that, as many of you know, whatever is happening with this character, Max, whatever this name is, is going through right now. I'm always continuing on my development and doing a lot of different things. And so I'm really shifting and changing how I message things, how I say things, because I realized that one of the most detrimental concepts, is our obsession with the me. Now, the obsession with the me doesn't have to mean a negative obsession. I mean, this is really all about separation and duality and non-duality, right? So, as I've worked with people, as I've done stuff for myself in my own development, right? I've been doing it I'm going to be 58 next month, in a month and a half. Almost everything that is a challenge or a block or whatever, negative, is almost 99.9% related to the self or the character that has been built called Max. I mean, I had a different name before. I was an actor and I changed my name. So then there's another self, right? So this is what I want to just kind of talk about. Everything is relative. We were talking about this last night on my on our continual search meeting. Everything is relative to you, how it affects you, how it affects the character. Everything in your life as well. It's cold outside, so I'm going to feel cold, right? There's certain kind of people at this party, so I'm going to feel this certain way. I have to gear up, or I have to put on a show, or I have to whatever. Everything in your life, if you think about it for 2 seconds, is all relative to you. And relativity is a very interesting topic because everything is relative. And in the big picture, it's all relative to the character that you've created, right? Take a deep breath. So, it's all relative to your joys, to your pain, to your suffering, to your aspirations, to your failures, to your successes. Everything in your world, in the closed loop, I like to use that word from Kenneth Madden, the closed loop of the self is always self-referential, always self-referential, right? So, what if you weren't you? What if you weren't you? The more that well, first of all, the you can't let go of the you. The you can't let go of the you because the you doesn't want to let go of the you because that's what it thinks is its life is. The separated self doesn't want to let go of the separated self. It wants to keep holding on to the self. My journey, my struggles, my pain, my family, my career, my, right? But the question is, what if you weren't you? It reminds me of the very first principle of A Course in Miracles. It says, there is no order of difficulty in miracles. One is not easier or harder than the other. The only thing that makes it easier or harder is your reflection on you, your experience, your past, your aspirations, your future, your failures. That's it. That's it. So, what we're communicating here is something that's very energetic. You can begin to access it through a thought, but it's not understandable. Something begins to shift or resonate when you start to go, oh my God, if I wasn't me, let's see what you have to say. Carol says, my first thoughts are DNA and genetics, and then totally different experiences. What else do you have to say? Well, there definitely is a DNA happening in this car body, but you're not a body, and you don't die. You were never really born. There's just life happening, right? There's just life happening. So genetics and DNA, of course, play a part in it, for sure. Lauren says, it's hard to even contemplate because I'm just thinking me. I only want to be me. What's the song? Got to be me. What's that song? Me. There's a song. Tina says, I can only think about this for a split second. That's right, because you can't think about it. Because it's you that's doing the thinking. What's that song now, Lauren? Got to be me. That's not the tune or something. So remember, I'm just facilitating a conversation here. I'm just facilitating something here. There's nothing to learn here. And I appreciate that, Tina, when you said, I can only think about it for a split second. I'm going to tell you something. If that split second widens, something is going to start to change. I guarantee it. That's the name. Oh, it's by Sammy Davis Jr. Thank you so much. I've got to be me. I was right. What's the name of that song? Gotta be me. Sammy Davis Jr. But let's come back to that, what Tina said. I can only think about for a split second. I'm going to tell you very honestly, is that this character is all melting away. Even though it's a brunette now, this character is melting away. And one of the pointers, right? So we're pointing to things here. We're not learning anything. We're just pointing to things, right? So one of the main things that have really helped this character to start to melt is that maybe it's because I was a trained actor for so long. I could just, this goes over here and I just go, well, what if I wasn't me? I would have everything, you would be open to everything. I wouldn't be me anymore. There would just be impulse. There would just be life. There would just be pleasure happening, or pain happening, or interesting things happening, or aspirations happening, or motivation happening. But it wouldn't be connected to the me of the story. They did it on Glee. Thank you, Tiffany. Whether I'm right or I'm wrong. Oh, God. Now, after this, I'm going to have to go find that song. Lauren says, if I had a split second for it to resonate, there's something that feels like it would be incredibly freeing to be released from all my ego stories, wants, needs, desires, defenses, etc. Chandra, hello. Even though I know I am not my physical self, my senses sight, see people and things, so then I forget. It's very common, for sure. Tiffany says, just be your energy and not your story. Like that thought. Yep. We're pointing in a direction here as we speak. We're pointing to a direction. If you can feel, there's a direction that's being pointed to here. We're not learning anything, because what this direction is pointing to is something that you've never lost. It's so obvious right here. Farnaz, hello. Hi, for a split second, moments I'm fine, no anxiety or feeling low. Then I remember where and when I am, and it all starts downward again. That's exactly right, Farnaz. I hope I'm saying your name right. That's exactly right. And then it comes back to, because the separated self is addicted to itself. It's addicted to being itself. And when you are addicted to something, if you've ever had any addiction issues in your life, you know how hard it is to let go of the drinking or the shopping or the gambling or the addicted to bad relationships. You know how hard it can be, because it's all you know. It's all the you know. But you're not a you. You're not a you. There's no one there. So what Farnaz says is right. So then you go back to, oh yeah, I remember, I'm someone that has anxiety. Oh yeah, fuck. God damn it. I'm back to the person that has anxiety. So now I have to deal with the anxiety. Right? I'm just saying. This is what happens, people. This is one of the reasons why the self loves a label. It loves a label. I am highly sensitive person. I am someone that has anxiety. I have depression. Because it keeps bringing you back to this character of the self. And that's the separated self, right? Because there is no you there. There's just life happening through you, through this perceptual vehicle. Sometimes words are hard with this, right? I don't know, Nina. Nina says, then who am I? Well, I sure fucking don't know. But Nina has touched on something very good. That's why so many of the greatest spiritual, masters keep telling you, ask, who am I? 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 You meditate on that. Well, you can meditate or not, but that's just another fucking story. But just the who am I thing, it begins to point you in a direction. For my money, I think a more valuable thing to say is, what am I? Because when we say, who am I? We go, oh, maybe I'm another self. Maybe I'm another personality. What are you? Take a deep breath. Let's look over here. Then are we all one? Maybe. Maybe, Chandra. There are no answers. Nothing is right or wrong. Even the good labels hold us stuck. That's exactly right, Tiffany. Even the good. Because most of the time, my friends, what happens is what? You're on a spiritual path, on whatever, you're trying to get to the good labels. To the happy place, to the peaceful place, to the whatever place. That is just as much of another coat that you can wear to create another me. So it's this. What's that same side? Coins of a different side. Whatever. I can't remember right now. Let's see. Insky says Michael Singer, who's interesting, talks about the self, witnessing the self, and being the experience of your life. The witness, observing the reality you experience each moment, but not attaching to it. Owning. That's the beginning of it. Owning or needing to become or own it, but sitting behind or sitting in front. Yeah, as you witness it. Yeah, this is kind of pointing towards that. It's kind of pointing towards that. But now I want to say something really clearly. Excuse New York City out the door. I want to say something about that. It's already here. You don't have to do anything, because it's kind of another story to do another thing. Do you understand? It's already here, but it's very difficult for the self to accept that. But nothing's either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So do it. Same side of the different coin. Thank you so much. Same side of a different coin. Right. Different side of the same coin. See, nothing's wrong and nothing's right. What else? What else is coming up for you all? Mel, it's okay. You're not late. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Nice mug, right? I was saying, this is how old I am. Regis and Kathy Lee. I knew Kathy Lee. She was a very, very nice woman, actually. You were waiting, but you fell asleep. I know it's the middle of the morning or night for Aussies. 12:20 a.m. I'd be asleep too. Okay, anything else? Let's see. Lauren says, it kind of feels like work, though, to try to continually detach from the ego. Yeah, but I didn't say to try to continually detach from the ego. I didn't say that. Because the only thing that can do that is the self. The self is trying to detach from the self. That doesn't make any sense. As A Course in Miracles would say, I need do nothing. I need do nothing. Because you don't have to do anything. Because if you're doing something, in general, it's usually the ego trying to do something to the ego. Or the separated self. Ego, separated self, memsho, same thing, right? Kind of like self-watching self with amusement. That's a beginning. That's a beginning, right? If it feels like work, then you're definitely on the path of conceiving this like, I have to do something. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. That's right. Especially you don't. And what comes up when this is really heard, when this is really seen, when this is really known, what we're talking about here, what comes up is joy. It's just fun. You're just like, oh my God. It's so incredulous. You're just going to be like, oh, fuck. It's unconditional joy, unconditional love that just comes up. It doesn't mean that you don't have pain or not you, but pain doesn't happen or suffering doesn't happen on some level. But it's not you that's suffering. It's not you that's having pain. Tea Lady says, just being authentically you is important, and noticing if you have some shortcomings, work on those. That's kind of not what I'm saying here, but if that's where you want to go, sure, there's nothing wrong or right with that. But that's being authentically you is going right back into it being authentically You. Some people hear this message and they start going, well, I'm not going to have a personality anymore. I'm not going to have any likes or dislikes or whatever if I let go of the separated self. No. What happens in general is when people hear this and they resonate with what I'm talking about here, they begin to be more of their characteristic because they've been trying to shape themselves to try to be something for so long that they go, oh, I could just wear a pink dress. But before I would never wear a pink dress because people would judge me for wearing a pink dress. So you say, fuck it, I'm going to wear a pink dress because it's just life happening. Pink dressing is just happening. Writing the book is just happening, or whatever happens. The self is so afraid of letting go of the self because it's been so controlled for so long that it's trying so hard to be something to make sure that it fits in with the society or your expectations or your mother's expectations or your neighbor who you hate's expectations. Does that make sense? Let's see. Insky says it's all very mental. Yes, it is very mental. That's kind of the gateway. Laugh. People that you don't matter anymore because their physical self is not even real. You kind of start getting that. True personality energy comes out because the blocks are gone. Yep. Yeah, I thought it sounded sort of boring for a while, like I would have to wear white Kundalini clothes every day. Oh my God, Aaron, I love you. I've gotta be me. If that bothers someone, there's the door. Thank you. Right. And what I'm pointing to, and if this resonates with you, it's so obvious and it's so right there. So, okay, take a big breath. I know you're going to be singing that all day long now. All right.